The following is a podcast meant for adults and discuss things like sexual content and alcohol use. Listener discretion is advised.
There's an axolotl on the pink stairs. Is an axolotl supposed to be there? If you ask an axolotl if they'll be back tomorrow, a penguin waddles in and then the axolotl gone. There's an axolotl on the lawn chair. Is an axolotl supposed to be there? If you ask an axolotl if they'll be back tomorrow, a penguin waddles in and then the axolotl gone. There's an axolotl by the front door. Is that what the welcome sign is there for? If you ask an axolotl if they'll be back tomorrow, a penguin waddles in and then they both sing you a song. Single bobble, one axolotl, bibble babble, penguin waddle, we'll be back tomorrow. I know I messed up that last line. Dog nabbit.
I don't even know what you were singing right there.
What? You don't know what I was singing? Bro,
was
have you
singing.
not seen Dr. Waffle on TikTok?
No.
Oh my god, you need to watch. It's like a warm hug to my spirit every time I see one of his videos because they're so comforting. He had one that was like a duck song, but it wasn't the duck song from like back in the day. It was one that was like basically talking about like perspectives and like the perspectives of like how you feel next to somebody else and how it's all just a matter of perspective. And it was so wonderful. I loved it so much. And then, like I said, every time one of his videos pops up, my heart, and I'm just like, I feel like you know how those gentle moments where it's just like a kiss on the forehead or something. That's what those songs feel like to me. They feel like a kiss on the forehead to my soul, because it makes me just feel better. It makes me feel at ease and at peace, and I'm just like, I feel like I can just. I feel like I can just take a breath and just exhale when those videos pop up every single time.
Oh, that's cute.
It is. It's very cute. I'll send you a video after we get done with this episode, which is the Drunk Texting Podcast episode 39. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing? I hope you're all doing well. Happy Thirsty Thursdays, because you know what we do here at the Drunk Texting Podcast. We talk some mess, have some drink, and help you get through your Thirsty Thursdays as only we know how to. But with that being said, after our very long preamble and me singing into the microphone about axolotls and penguins, I am one half of your co-hosting team, JB, and to my left, the left side of the screen, is my co-hostess with the mo-hostess. Please tell the people who you are and what your adjective is for the week.
I am the amusing.
The amusing. I thought you were about to lean in. I thought you were about to lean into that burp then and just be like, I am the gassy. Crystal
Nope,
Dish.
amusing.
She's the amusing Crystal Dish.
Amusing.
I'm not amused, so I don't necessarily know if
Well,
I
that's
agree. I don't know if I
everybody is
agree.
I'm amusing to some.
You know what? That's fair. That's why I keep bringing you back. So,
Exactly. So I must be a little bit amusing.
but that is our beginning part of our episode. Before we get into today's episode, please remember, as we say, always, 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 always drink responsibly. Never drink and drive. Sometimes drink and text. With that being said, this week I am drinking vodka and Sprite out of my Knuckles Sonic 3 AMC cup. I love this cup unironically so much. I don't know if Knuckles is my favorite character from the Sonic franchise, but I've always had a very particular fondness of Knuckles. There's a particular show that they did back. God, I can't remember how many years ago. It was one of the animated show, but it was like, wasn't 3D, but it was close to it, that kind of like that somewhat style. And it's where that meme of Knuckles, where he's like, approved, comes from. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah, it's that show, and I feel so bad.
I don't know what show it is.
I can't remember which. That is one of my favorite iterations of Knuckles. So, but vodka, Sprite, simple mixture. get the job done. Please tell the people what you're drinking, Miss Kristal.
I'm also sipping on a little shot or two, a couple of vodka, and some black raspberry juice.
Ooh, black raspberry juice. Ooh.
Yup, delectable. I don't even like. I'm not even biggest fan of raspberries, but this is
But you know
delectable.
what? You're doing it with the black raspberry. And speaking of black, happy Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen, and people all the way in between both of those things. It's Black History Month. We're going to have a good time with Black History Month. We actually will have something involving Black History Month a little bit later on in the episode. But we're going to get to the first section of this week's episode, which is the question of the week. This question of the week, I kind of thought it would be fun for a little bit of introspective discussion. What can you never truly understand until you have experienced it? Now, I'll admit some of these replies were very niche. Some of these replies were very broad. And I feel like there are at least two or three of them that I feel like, even though they are universal experiences, they're still niche enough that, like, there is a section of the world that has not experienced it. Starting right off the bat with a heavy one, grief.
Mm.
And literally people in the replies are like, the death of your child, the death of your spouse, the death of your parent, like, and I can attest to that on both ends of it. I will say that on both ends, because I've had classmates who've lost parents. Literally, one of my closest friends, when I was in high school, she lost her mother. What was that, going into our, I want to say, 10th grade year? She lost
Mm.
her mother the summer before, and even to this day, I still don't understand what that feels like, and I don't understand what that grief is. And then there are some people who they look at me, because there are times where I'll get completely immobilized with the
Mm.
grief of the loss of my grandmother. I've talked about it on the podcast before about how my grandmother is was one of my biggest supporters. Probably, still is. She's looking down on me. Probably, hopefully, proud of me for everything that I've been doing and everything that I've done. But I like I said, it's one of those situations where I feel like it's just niche enough that certain people, like, there are aspects to grief that people would never understand until they experienced it themselves.
That's true.
The next one, and this one, like I said, this is another one that I feel like I probably would never be able to understand, but my wife deals with chronic pain.
Mm.
Chronic pain. You know the situation with my wife and why that's always the thing with her. So yeah, again, it's something that I don't understand. Thankfully, she makes jokes about it, so it does kind of lighten the situation a little bit.
I mean, when you're in just like some form of pain all the time, there's not too much you can do but laugh.
Yeah,
As a
take
chronic pain sufferer, I understand. Like sometimes I can't do nothing but just like, what's doing? Just here in pain, Just it is what it is. Like
like
laugh to keep from crying.
this the booty that I have to endure, so I'm gonna endure it.
Unfortunately.
Right. Uh, this one I feel like this one I feel like is so true on such a fundamental level. Poverty.
Mm.
And literally, as somebody who grew up in a middle class family, I can truly admit that that's something that I would never understand.
Mm.
Um, and to people that I know from growing up, I got people that I knew growing up, literally, and it's a very true statement. I have somebody in my graduating class. His family and his family name was, I want to say, one of, if not the biggest cotton processing company in the area.
Mm.
Which all the funnier because they were white. Uh, I'll admit, I was like that. The irony is kind of not lost on me that one of the biggest cotton processing plants in the area is owned by this family. And everybody knew them too. Even people that don't know them because of their name.
Shame.
It's crazy. This one, this one truly, I get it, and I think it's true because of the environment of today's world. Depression.
Ooh,
I feel
that's all real.
and I feel like this one is a very special one because it's a thing of like everybody had that moment where they're like, oh well, I feel depressed or oh I'm sad, but it's like until you really have dealt with that inner turmoil of like what depression really is, what like that crippling feeling of depression. It is something that you never understand, and again, unfortunately, that's something that I can say I agree with. I can definitely say like, yeah, I got friends that say they're sad or oh they say they're depressed, but it's like I can always not always, but it's like you definitely spot the people who they say like oh I have depression, but it's like do you?
But I will say sometimes it manifests differently. It shows differently in some people. But then you also have those people that will say they're depressed, but then flip it and say that you're not. So it's
And,
kind of like there's hypocrisy in it as well.
and that's a part of I guess that's exactly why where my feelings of it go because it's just like you and it's almost of like well why are you trying to weaponize it almost
Right.
if you are so depressed then why are you weaponizing it because everything that I know and everything that I've learned and everything that I've researched to help further explain it, all the therapy sessions that I've gone to, and all the like discussion of getting on medication that I've gone through, I'm just like, I would never weaponize or even attempt to weaponize that because of this feeling that I get. I would never wish that on people. I would wish it on my worst enemy because see no, and this is gonna be a side tangent, but the people that are like, oh, I never wish that on my worst enemy, then they're not your worst enemy. If you would not wish the worst on your enemy, they're not your worst enemy. Then that is just a true, and I refuse. People are like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. They're not your worst enemy. Then they're not because you want the worst for them. You want the absolute worst for them if they are your worst enemy. But a little side tangent aside, I saw a great response earlier, and I'm so sad that I cannot. Let's see.
You gotta
Ooh,
start saving things, man.
I do. I gotta start saving the replies because they get lost in the comment, and I freaking
Or just like
lose.
screenshot. Or if you even just like it, it'll show up.
You know what? That's fair. That is fair. This one that I didn't realize that this was such a common thing until I started working at the news station some years back. Your home burning down.
Mm.
And the reason I say that is because literally, working in the news station, we report on all kinds of things and activities and stuff that's going on. And literally, we had a house fire that like displaced families at least like once every month or two. And I was like, dog. And then having like I think we may have only done one update story on a family that managed to be able to get a new home following their home burning down. But literally like all these families and like they're just like oh they're displaced, they're living in a hotel now, they only have like a week's worth of clothes between all of them, and it's like that's something I definitely would never understand because whoa.
That's a very like niche experience.
Right.
'Cause I've had family affected by a house fire, so they
Ugh.
still they still never fully recovered,
Right.
and it's been like 20 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like they're all they were all severely affected in one way or another. Some physical, some mental, all that jazz.
All right. So I found two funnier ones. The first one,
Yeah.
kidney stones.
Can't
I,
relate.
bro, I cannot relate. I pray I never do. Um,
Don't
one of the first times I remember knowing knowing someone that had kidney stones, my band director back when I was in high school, he literally missed one of our football games because he had kidney stones and he was in the hospital. And he did not come back to school I think until like that following Tuesday. Like
Jesus.
like he was out and down for the count. Even one of my coworkers, uh, well, yeah, one of my coworkers, um, one of their family members had kidney stones and was telling me about it and telling me about how the procedure of how they had to get them out. And I was like, oh, dog, no, sir, don't you?
Keep
Oh,
that to you.
I would cry. And the last one, and I think this one's kind of funny just because why would you post this on this such a like serious like this was a very serious thread, but this one I don't know why I was like why would you post that? Someone said LSD.
Yo.
Like I granted they're not wrong,
Yeah, very not wrong.
but like why would you post that? Why would you with your
I
full
mean,
chest?
why not? They had
Because
an answer. They gave you an answer.
but still I just dog.
LSD is crazy.
That's crazy. Like, were you on a trip when you decided to post that? Like, what was your reasoning?
Who
What
knows?
what was the reason, dog? I was just shooketh to my core. But that is that is the question of the week, ladies and gentlemen. What is something that you guys think in your life that people wouldn't understand until they experienced it themselves? I have an answer that's something a little bit lighter, um, and it all has to do with wrestling. I'm not gonna lie. Um, the feeling, and this is a very specific feeling, and I felt it. And I can't even say I felt it. I feel it almost every single time I go to wrestle. It's that moment when you first step through the curtains in front of the crowd and the crowd cheers for you and they have like a loud reaction to you. That is a feeling that I cannot put into words how much it like those moments where you're just like, oh my god, my heart is full. Like that, one of those moments. Like that's what that does to me. Like, dog. And so this past Sunday, which February the 2nd, I was at a wrestling show, Kraken Pro Wrestling, Tifton, Georgia. Special shout out to them. Please go follow them on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. They're doing great things, great work. I'm so appreciative and happy to be a part of their team. I wrestled at their show this past Sunday. I'm not going to give the spoilers of what happened, but I stepped out in front of the crowd and they cheered. And even before I stepped out in front of the crowd, my music started playing, and there were people that already knew who I was based off my music, and they started chanting for me.
Getting hype.
And and when I stepped out in front of the crowd, I legitimately and I do it every time. I don't know if anybody's caught on yet. I stop for just a half second and I breathe it in and then I go into my pose with my broom. And it's because that moment, it's just it fills you and you're just like, oh, that moment. And it's something that I until you've done it, until you can experience that feeling that stepping out in front of the crowd and having them react to you, that is a feeling that is hard to explain. But what
Yeah.
about you? Do you have an experience that you think is hard to explain, or it's hard to like for people to understand until they've actually experienced it?
I can't think of a lighthearted one.
Oh no! Oh no!
the only one I can say is drowning.
Okay.
And I'm talking like, oh, you go under for a few seconds. Like, no, like you're legit like going under. You can get up, please.
Okay.
There's something about it that's a little bit of a lot because just like, especially if you can't swim,
Yeah.
because you at that point you're thinking, am I going to make it out? Am I gonna make it out? How am I gonna make it out? What's gonna happen when I make it out?
What happens
It's
if
just
I
so much
don't make it
going,
out?
right. And so much is going through your mind. You're just like,
You know, that just made me think of, ma'am, have you drowned? What?
yeah,
Twice?
twice in my life.
How? Hold on. Okay, so I'm sorry, time out. I feel like the first time, alright, cool. You know, things happen. Sometimes, you know, you get stuck. But you can't tell me twice? No, I feel like the second time was your fault, dog. I'm sorry.
It wasn't though.
If after the first time you didn't rectify the problem by learning how to swim, dog.
Listen, the first time it happened, I was a kid, maybe like 5.
Okay, exactly, and that's you know what, I get
Now,
it.
after that, I just stayed out of water in general for a good while, a good couple years. I stayed out of water in general. Second time, it wasn't my fault. It was everybody else's fault.
How?
It wasn't my fault, bro.
How?
It was
Explain it.
it was the tubing company's fault for not properly warning people.
What?
No, because imagine you're going tubing the whole time, entire fucking time. The water is you this much fucking water in the creek. And you get
Okay.
to this one part and it's fucking like 8 feet deep. There's no warning, no nothing.
Because why you're tubing? Also,
But
why did you?
if everything else in the water is this much, I'm expecting the water to be like this the entire time.
Lord have
I'm not
mercy.
expecting to catch no big ass drop. Especially with no type of warning whatsoever. They said, "Oh, it's fine. This is a family friendly shit." No
You just
warning.
weren't holding on. Why weren't you holding on?
Hey, my tube flipped.
You still could have grabbed it.
I could. How if it flipped?
Because you flip and you grab as you're going under.
And I will flip with it.
Exactly. Did you put your hand on it and you just woo?
No, because then the foot you hold on to the tube. This has happened. If you hold on to a tube while it's flipping, it's going to flip on top of you.
Yes, but then you can reposition yourself if you still have your hands on it, and then you can just right through the tube.
Your mind's not thinking about that in the moment, bro. I'm telling you, it's not.
I've been in, bro. I've almost drowned in a wave pool because people kept pushing me as I was holding on to my tube. What are you talking about?
It's not working like that, bro. It's not working like that.
Again, I said that's on you because you didn't learn how to swim.
Exactly. Listen, when you're traumatized as a child, you don't want to learn ways to prevent it. You want to stay with me altogether.
Oh, you're throwing trauma into my face. You're throwing trauma in my face.
Yes, I was traumatized as a child.
Well, if you were
Yeah,
traumatized as a child, then what was you doing on that tube in the first place?
it wasn't my fault. I
Oh,
was
you
there.
chose to get on the tube.
I was there as a guest.
You chose to get on the tube.
I couldn't say no.
You chose to get on the tube. You could have just not gotten on the tube. You could have just walked the riverbank all the way down to where they were gonna meet up.
No, I couldn't. There was
What?
no fucking riverbank. It's
What
like
did you could have
water
just
and big old hills.
what if you could have just stayed there?
By myself?
Yep.
And so I had no idea where I was at.
They know you would have been back up at the top.
No, he didn't.
I feel like they did. See, I feel like do you at least know how to swim?
They were there.
Lord, do you at least know how to swim now?
No, I don't. I don't go swimming past. I don't. If I'm ever in a body of water, I don't go past a certain point.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, we are officially going to start raising money so we can get Kristal DeChan some swimming lessons.
No, not say
We
no.
need to get her some swimming lessons so she can learn how to swim. Because if she doesn't, and we ever go on a cruise, I'm gonna make
I'll be
sure
put.
every time we pass a pool, I'm pushing her in.
That's what they have lifeguards for.
Man, them lifeguards Them lifeguards are not guarding lives. Plus, I'm pretty sure on most cruise ships they say enter the pool at your own risk.
And the pools are don't be that deep.
They be deep enough.
Well,
They be deep enough.
crazy.
What's crazy is that you are just refusing to better yourself. I feel like that is something that everybody needs to learn how to do in their life is learn to swim.
Listen, me knowing how to swim is not affecting my life.
I'm sure it will one day. I'm sure it will
It,
one day. I'm sure it will
it's
one day.
not.
What if you
It's
what if you and your husband one day go to a beach and you out there in the water and you just get smacked by a wave and now you 20 feet out?
Damn, guess I'm dying.
That's crazy.
Guess I gotta die.
That's crazy. I hope
better continue dying.
I hope studio audience at least knows how to swim because Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Surprise, surprise.
We're going to move on because if we continue this, I'm going to actually probably have an aneurysm. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our Would You Rather of the week. And I'll admit this Would You Rather. It came specifically from the fact that recently I went back and I rewatched an age-old classic entitled Click. Now, if you do not remember that movie, it was an Adam Sandler movie in which he receives a magical remote from the back of an IKEA, well, I think it was an IKEA. It might have been just a regular furniture store. Got a magical remote. Takes it home. He thinks, oh my gosh, this remote works the TV. Surprise, surprise, it doesn't work TV. It works reality. So he starts fast forwarding through time, fast forwarding through space. He's pausing stuff. He's rewinding stuff. He's muting people. He's doing all kinds of stuff. Come to find out, he's actually hurting himself because he accidentally starts fast forwarding and he's missing his life. So much so to the point to where he actually loses his wife. He loses his wife. She divorces him because she's like, you're so distant. You just aren't around anymore. He's like, it's the remote. It's on autopilot. And she's not believing him. He ends up dying, but then it comes to find out he actually didn't die. It was all just a dream because he was so exhausted. But then it actually wasn't a dream because the same guy who gave him the remote was still working in the same furniture store. So it was really just like a whole lesson on how to be active for your family and this, that, and the third. And so I thought about that. And after I saw that movie, I started thinking about another, not necessarily like a cult classic movie at this point, but it was not that popular when it came out. And I'm also talking about the movie Hancock, starring Will Smith. I know you know about that movie.
No.
You.
If I have seen it, I don't remember it.
Don't piss me off right now. Do
I feel
not
I've seen
piss me.
But I can't remember that whole movie altogether. I cannot, for the life of me.
I have nothing to crash out. I have nothing to crash out with. I just. What do you mean?
Like I know of the movie. Do I actually physically remember seeing the movie? No. But then again, I don't remember seeing a lot of movies.
I'll say it like this. In the tier ranking of Will Smith movies, it is a firm B tier ranked movie. It is a firm B. Like when it first came out, people probably would have called it a C rank just because of like some of the editing. But after years of having the movie out, I say it is a firm B rank. I'm disappointed in you. Basically, long story short, Hancock essentially had the powers of like Superman. Okay. But then it turns out that like his kryptonite is like a woman that like they're destined to like be around each other, but whenever they're around each other, that's when like their powers don't work. I forget how they explained it within the lore, but like that's how he was able to be vulnerable and get shot with the whole thing. But he basically was a rags to riches superhero story because like he was known as a superhero. People knew that he was a people knew that he had superpowers. But at the beginning of the movie, he was basically like a homeless dude, always drunk, and every time he saved the day, he cost the city millions of dollars in damages. One of those kind of situations. Um, but would you rather? Now that I've explained poorly the two movies, would you rather have the remote from Click or the power of Hancock?
I I'd probably rather have the power of Hancock.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have a real need or desire to manipulate time.
I don't know, man. Time, space, you can. And the thing, I will say, the one thing that I really liked about Click is that even when he paused time, if he like hit somebody or like farted on them, there's a scene where he farts on his boss while he's eating lunch. Like he paused it, farted on him, like smacked him really hard. Like I mean, like he hit him like 3 or 4 times. Then he resumed time. He got a migraine, and then it was like, why do I take shit? And it was like a whole thing. So I feel like that would be I would enjoy that at least. Like hell yeah, I can pause time and I bust somebody in the jaw, and when I resume time, they're gonna have a busted lip. Absolutely, give me that.
That's the only that's like the only real benefit. Use it for like in the moment anger release.
True. Also, think about it. With Click, you can set your lottery ticket, and then when they go to roll the numbers, do the thing, pause it, and then set it so that way each one, your number comes out. Think about it. There's because don't get me wrong, I would enjoy having superpowers, power of flight, super strength, invulnerability, all of that. But at the same time, it's like I could pause stuff, dog.
True.
I could literally be like, dude, walk into a bank, steal some money, close that bitch up, walk out the bank, put it in my car, dude. Be like, dog, I gotta get back to lunch, and drive off. They never know. The ultimate mastermind. Mastermind.
I guess. I suppose it.
Unibrow.
What are you doing?
I don't know, man. Listen, I've had a long day and these drinks are helping.
I love that for you.
But that's what you think? You would rather have the powers of Hancock to be able to fly?
Once you said all that,
Just saying. Plus, think about it. You could pause time, walk to work, unpause time, and be there on time every time.
I don't want to walk to work.
Well, you don't have to walk. I just use that as like an example. Cause I don't know.
I can't one time to work.
Cause I don't know how driving or even hell. You could fast forward through it, and literally everything will keep happening. Like no, but just fast forward. Just doop, get there in 2 seconds.
So, so in that case, when you like speed forward, reverse, pause time, can you still interact with things?
Yes, but in
Like in
that,
the car, you can still drive the car.
yes, yes. It'll essentially be so like what others would perceive is essentially you just being like distant and like aloof, almost as if you had like blinders on. So there wouldn't really be too much like active you in those situations. She's thinking about it. I gave her one that stumped her, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? I'm gonna change it and go with the remote just for selfish gains.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm doing it for selfish gains.
That's fair. That's fair. As would I. I'm not gonna lie. I would absolutely use it for selfish reasons. I would have no feelings about it either. I mean, to be fair, either way, either or, I'd still use it for selfish reasons. Yeah. Either or, it would be selfish reasons. So, but ladies and gentlemen of the bar, what do you think? Would you rather have the remote from Click, or would you rather have Hancock's powers?
Or maybe it's something different that we didn't think about.
Give us your perspectives, because honestly, either way, I'm being selfish. Either option, I'm being selfish. Because what they gonna do? Stop me?
That's facts.
And the remote never runs out of batteries either. They've been always charged. Doot doot. Deal with it.
They absolutely less.
Exactly. Well, since I'm gonna say less, I'm gonna go on to the next section, which is a brand new section that we're doing for Black History Month, and possibly longer. We'll have to see. But this next section will now and probably forever be known as It's for the Culture. That's where we talk about us for the culture. Because, you know, like I said, it's Black History Month, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blickety blackety black, y'all, and I'm blickety blackety big blackety black, you know, because I'm back and I'm black.
I'm playing that walking to work tomorrow.
Bro, a few years ago,
our CEO is coming tomorrow. I'm like,
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all. So it's funny. A few years ago, and I know you heard about this, they put a mural. They put like a big mural around a Confederate statue in Macon, Georgia. And it was like a big like mural, and it was like a big wooden one. And it had like the colors, it had the fish and the whole thing. And so I went and visited one day after work because I was like, I want to see what it looks like. I've seen like videos and pictures, but I haven't seen it with my own eyes. So I went out, I saw it, and as I was leaving, and I did this specifically because as I was leaving, there was these Karens that were looking at me because I was like marveling at the site, and there were these Karens looking at me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to lean into it. So I pulled up that song. I turned my radio all the way up, turned down, or like let down my windows, and I played it as I rode away.
As you should.
And I did that specifically for them because they watched me after I parked, got out of my car, went up to the thing, marveled at it, walked all the way around it 3 or 4 times, took my little pictures, took my videos, walked back to my car. They literally did not take their eyes off of me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna lean into it because I'm black, y'all. You know, black, y'all. You know, blickety, blackety, black, y'all.
Have fun with it.
Because if you're gonna be all up in my business, then I'm gonna give you something to talk about.
Exactly.
But this week, our first week of It's for the Culture, we are talking about the Grammys because it was a great night for the people of the Grammys, and 3 people specifically that I want to mention. Not particularly in this order because one of them is definitely going to get more love. Not love. We're going to get more talking points. But we got Beyonce winning best. I think she won 2. I want to say she won 2 because I think she won best album. I think she won album of the year and then best country album. I want to say she won 2. But I'm not. Well, let's see.
She won for, album of the year, country album of the year, and best country duo/group performance.
Okay, so she won 3. That's even better. And all 3 of them were because of her country album, Cowboy Carter, which is wonderful. She's also announced the dates for her tour, and I hate it so badly because we're supposed to be going on a trip like 3 days after she comes to Atlanta, and I'm so upset. I'm so upset. We're still gonna go, but it's gonna be a lot of mess. It's gonna be a lot of mess doing that. It's gonna be terrible. So congratulations to her. You know, she did her thing. I feel like she thought that she wasn't gonna win because of the People's Choice. I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago, the People's Choice Awards was like country, or it was the People's Choice Award, and she was nominated for one because of her country album, and she didn't win. And after she didn't win, people were all online talking about something good. That album wasn't that good anyway. That album was bad. But she won, and when her album got announced, you see the reaction. And I saw this tweet, and I think it's so true that Blue Ivy is so locked in. She was the only one that was not shocked in Beyonce's general vicinity when she was announced as the winner. She was the only one. She was just like, "Mom, get up, go get your award." Like, why are you surprised? Like,
standing here, they wouldn't you.
Right? Like, she was like, "You still sitting down? Get up and go!" Like, you did it. It's you.
Like, sis, they called your name.
Right, and it's like Beyonce, 100%. Like, she like Blue ride for her. Like, you could tell Blue is.
She gonna ride for her mama.
Look, she locked in. Her and her mama, they locked in like this. When Blue gets to that point to where she's like solo artist and she's doing her own tours and everything, her and Beyonce gonna be like this. Every tour she does, Beyonce gonna be there just like this.
Every time.
Every single time. And I believe that with my heart. Somebody else that gets high praise on the night is Doechii for Best Rap Album. As she should have. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be one of those people that was like, "Oh, I've been riding Doechii since." Blah, blah, blah. I got put on because of my wife. 100%. My wife put me on the Doechii. Ever since I messed with her. Ever since she put me on, just like how she put me on the Rico Nasty. And I've been on them ever since my wife put me on them. 100%. Hands up, I'll admit it. I will admit, I had belief that Tyler the Creator was going to be the one that was going to get put into it because of Chromacopia. But I also was saying, like, oh, well, if Tyler doesn't win, it's probably going to go to Doechii, because I was like, those two, like, they kind of did their thing in 2024. Like,
yeah,
real talk.
Doechii
like Doechii for real did her big one. I feel like genuinely, the way that Doechii rose in 2024 is what I was expecting for Glorilla when she was popping in the first half of 2024. Like, I thought that wave was going to go throughout the entire year. But it went to Doechii, and Doechii did her big one, and she deserves it, and I'm so happy for her. I can't wait to hear more of her music. I can't wait to see what she drops next, because I have been enjoying her music. Every time a TikTok pops up with her music on it, I will literally stop and watch it 3 or 4 times. Like, that's how...
Doechii music, you can't do nothing but bop to it.
Exactly. Like, her music 100% is for the culture. And speaking of their music being for the culture, we got to take a moment. We got to talk about this, because what I'm about to talk about was a cultural, significant, shifting moment. This moment shifted the culture, because I'm pretty sure for the first time ever, a diss track not only won Song of the Year, Record of the Year, it went on to win 5 Grammy Awards for Not Like Us. Every single category that Kendrick Lamar was in for Not Like Us won at the Grammys. That is a culturally shifting moment. Bro, 5 different awards. All of them were a diss track. This man won 5 awards because of a diss track. That is significant. And on top of it,
that is next tier.
And you know what's even pettier about it? Which is why we all need to strive to be more like Kendrick Lamar in terms of hating. This man was wearing a Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah.
He was wearing a Canadian tuxedo to the Grammys. This man had the entire industry saying A minor. sponsor at the Grammy, dog.
Forever will, because Not Like Us was such a cult. It came out in such a time of cultural just unity that everyone's just going back and forth
Bro,
with the beat, and then to have it win and go as big as it has is insane. But it's the funniest thing ever.
it really is. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's so funny because in one of Drake's diss tracks that during like when the beef was happening, there was a line in one of his diss tracks that was like, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody give him his Grammy now. And like everybody's been everybody was like, dog, that line is aging like a fine wine because how did you manifest that, dog?
Right? How you told? Why you told him to do that?
Right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would crash out if I manifested my biggest op to win a Grammy off of a diss track that he did about me. Dog, I'm crashing. I'm crashing all the way out.
That said Drake's adding the Grammys to his lawsuit.
Oh, bro, absolutely he's going to. You know he's going to. Here's what's funny. I saw one that was like, Drake really just needs to fight Kendrick at this point. This man won 5 Grammys. He got the Super Bowl and an Amazon sponsored concert because of a song calling him a pedophile.
It doesn't get better than that.
Like, at that point, quite literally, I would have fought him after the concert. Like, I would have just flown to California and fought the man. Because, like,
we gotta fight at the Grammys now.
Was Drake even at the Grammys last night?
I don't think so.
Meet the Grammys. Da, 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 da. Bro, I'm gonna listen to that song again when we get done. I'm gonna listen to Meet the Grams again. That shit was good.
The whole night was just, I didn't watch the Grammys, but of course
I saw the highlights.
Looking through and everything, it's hilarious.
It is, and
It's really hilarious.
And even though it's not something, it wasn't a highlight of the night. I just wanted to mention it because it's been brought up so many times on my Twitter. Kanye and his wife got escorted out of and away from the Grammys because apparently they weren't even invited. But then, I know you know why, but like, then she stripped and she had on like a sheer see-through. You didn't see that?
Oh, the little outfit she had on?
Yes. Cause she had on the black coat. She turned around, took it off, and it was just like see through, so you could see everything.
Yeah. She was wilding with that one,
bro. Somebody made a tweet that said, "Can we talk about how we think that Kanye's wife might actually be a victim of sex trafficking?"
I saw that,
and it's just and like in the comments, they had like legitimate. They were like every time we see her and everything that is being displayed are telltale signs of sex trafficking. These are all look. This is all internet rumors. Whatever they be saying on the internet. Look, I'm not saying it. I saw the tweet. I just think it's crazy how every time they come into the spotlight, somebody says something to that nature. And also, how come she always doggone near Butterball naked every time we see her? Why she ain't wearing no clothes?
You don't care about her in the slightest.
Really don't.
Woman.
Like, he be wearing a full outfit. She'd be lucky if she get a plastic bag.
Right. She got pasties and a G-string on.
Like, dog, what are you doing? But for the culture, we had so many good moments, genuinely, and even another moment. Janelle Monáe did a tribute performance to Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones. As we know, Quincy Jones passed away a couple weeks ago, and so Janelle Monáe got a chance to perform and do a tribute. That was also really cool. It was a great start to Black History Month. For the music industry.
It was the best start we could have asked for.
You know? Now we just gotta wait to see what the Super Bowl is gonna bring us.
And we'll talk about that next week.
We absolutely will.
Super Bowl is Sunday.
I'll be honest with y'all, I don't care about either team. I really don't. I don't want the Kansas City Chiefs to win. But, you know, that's as far as I really... Like, I don't care about either team. but I hope that the Kansas City Chiefs lose.
Yeah, I
Um,
hope they lose. I hope they lose, but I'm really watching for the commercials and a halftime show because I missed it last year, so I'm watching it this year.
really, you missed it
I
last
missed the
year?
halftime show. I missed the Super Bowl all completely last year.
Dang.
I went to.
Who
I
who
was at him. I was
performed?
at him.
Hold on. Who performed last year? Was last year Rihanna? No.
Yeah, Usher.
Last year was. That's right. It was because I remember. Yes, there was. Apparently, people were betting. Like the parlay people, they were betting what song he was gonna start with, and there was some kind of big scandal because the people, whatever, like they bet through, were saying like, oh well, he didn't technically start with this song. He just did a snippet from it. So it wasn't the actual song. So like a bunch of people lost out money.
Darn.
It was crazy. It
Yeah, like
was.
Usher and a whole bunch of other people.
It was, and it was a great time. It was
So
for the culture.
let's see what Kendrick's gonna bring.
Oh,
I'm
Kendrick!
very excited.
It's gonna be
What he's gonna
Kendrick.
bring.
It's gonna be Kendrick and SZA, and it's gonna be a great time. I feel like
If
I
they
didn't.
do not perform, I really. So wasn't that them on what was it? All the Stars.
Yes.
I want that.
You know what I
I want
want?
all.
You know what I want? And
That would be for the culture.
this is just petty on my part. I want Kendrick Lamar. Then he goes into SZA. Then SZA goes away for a moment. Then Kendrick brings up Rihanna. Then Rihanna does their little song together. Then Rihanna leaves. Then Kendrick brings up Megan Thee Stallion.
If Kendrick bring out Megan, I'm gonna lose it, bro.
Everybody, or at least every woman that Drake has beefed with or has had some kind of like with, I want Kendrick to bring her out.
That would be funny though.
It would be,
You
and I want all of it.
but
But yeah,
who's he trying to bring out? Because we know it's SZA, but it's not gonna just be SZA. We
oh
know
no, not
that.
at all, not at all.
Who else he gonna pull out?
It'd be funny. I feel like it would be hilarious if J. Cole came out.
Yo,
That would be hilarious.
Screaming. I'd be screaming, but I am so very ready.
And you know who else he has to bring out?
Hmm.
He has to bring out DJ Mustard. Mustard!
Just so thinking of the whole crowd screaming mustard.
You're acting bad. Nobody got to do it. Tell them put up on the gas and nobody got to do. Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. Ooh, I know Drake gonna be in that bit crashing out.
He's going to scream, and I'm going to be dying laughing, bro.
You know what they also need to do? They need to have a light up stage, one of those ones that you can like display pictures on, and have the cover of Not Like Us when he starts playing it. So it's just Drake's house with the radar, with the markers, with the offender markers.
Mm.
He need to put that up there, bro. Listen.
If it would just be a disappointment. I'm not gonna. The only reason I would be disappointed with the halftime show is if he doesn't perform Not Like Us. He has
You
no
know
reason
he's
not
going to.
No, but if he did not, be so disappointed because that's what everyone's waiting, and he knows.
You know he, bro. I feel like the last 5 minutes of the halftime show is just gonna be him doing Not Like Us repeatedly.
And I would love that.
You know what? I ain't gonna cap. I think it would be hilarious if he started it with SZA and then the entire like last half of his performance was just him doing Not Like Us on a loop.
Yeah. He just performed all the songs the whole diss track period.
Ooh, I would cry. I would cry.
That would be insanity.
I would actually cry.
Anything could happen.
You right? Look, in the middle of it, you just hear the Meet the Graham, bum 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 bum.
The lights go dark.
Bro, I would cry.
It's gonna be crazy.
Look, you hear that? You hear that one TikTok? It's just like they call him Baba Yaga.
Oh, like Kendrick is gonna pull every stop out, and I can't. Even if he just stands there on a blank fucking stage, it's gonna do nothing. I feel like people will be mad about it, but people are going to love it.
Bro, it's
We're
gonna
gonna
do.
love it. Some folks might be mad, but we're
Right.
gonna be eating it up.
Bro, eating it all the way up, and gladly would be too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in that
Like
bit.
yesterday.
I'm gonna be in that bit excited. I'm gonna be in that bit like, hey, busting on the beat. Oh, ah, ah, ah.
He got crib walking and everything on stage.
You know
Yes.
he's going to.
And I can't wait to see it.
Oh, he gonna be doing it, bro. He might, bro. He might actually pull up some actual Crips on stage.
I want to say Ludacris. Was it Ludacris or Snoop Dogg? No, Snoop Dogg did it last year.
Yeah. Well,
And
what
he
was
came
that?
to
Like
perform.
what? 2 years ago? Two?
No, Ludacris performed at the Super Bowl last time.
No, that was Usher.
No, he had guests. Ludacris is one of his guests.
Yeah, Ludacris was one of his guests, but you were talking about Snoop Dogg.
I meant Snoop Dogg, not Ludacris.
But yes, Ludacris performed with yes.
Oh, ha.
And then I think the year before that, it was Eminem, because that's when
Yeah,
that's
I'm thinking
when
of
they
Eminem.
had basically like the Avengers of the old hip hop age,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
and we had
That's what,
50 Cent hanging from the rafters again.
oh yeah.
That was
100%.
crazy. Ha! But man, that has been some fun stuff for the culture. I'm excited. This month is just going to be full of stuff. It's going to be full of opportunities and full of good times. Genuinely.
Yeah, it is.
But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to a section that I love, but I'm sure might possibly be controversial this week. It is entitled "Our Shit for a Shot." I got another one of our shot glasses that we got from our honeymoon. I am going to take a good old shot of gin for this shit for a shot. But this shit for a shot this week, like I said, is going to be kind of controversial. Because it is about a situation. It is about a rapper who is currently in the middle of suing Lyft. And to give quick synopsis, because I'm trying to find her name.
It was like Dank DeMoss, I think, something like that.
Yes. So, is a Detroit-based rapper who has filed a civil lawsuit against the company Lyft for saying that a driver refused her service because of her weight. Now, yes, she is known as Dank DeMoss. On January 18th, she paid for a Lyft for a ride from her home in Detroit to a football watch party at her cousin's house. She gets the Lyft. The Lyft gets there, and I want to say it was a Toyota or a Honda, something. It was a smaller car.
Something small.
Yes.
Something compact.
And the reason that is important is because Dank DeMoss is notably known. She, according to the articles, in fact, I'm gonna pull the articles up so that way I can, so the headline, so I know who to allege. At Must Share News, Live and Let Fly, CBS News, and the Detroit News, all color plus size, with Live and Let Fly, as of 3 days ago, as of the point of this recording, 554-pound rapper sues Lyft after driver says she was too big to get in his car. That was the headline.
Putting the weight out there is crazy, though.
It is. Now,
That's disrespectful.
the thing about it is, nobody would know about this situation if it weren't for Dank DeMoss. And the reason I say that is because she recorded him saying, hey, you can't get in because you're going to mess up my suspension, you're going to mess up my car, it's not big enough to support your weight. And then she posted the video. And the reason I talk about that is because in the suit, she alleges humiliation. But the thing is, nobody would know about this situation had you not posted the video.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't believe in discrimination on weight. I don't believe that, body shaming, fat shaming. But here's my thing though. I watched the video. I watched it several times. At no point did he explicitly be like, no, your big behind can't get in my car. You gonna mess up my suspension. He very calmly and easily was just like, hey, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to order a bigger lift. My car cannot support your weight. And since the posting of that video and the filing of the lawsuit, there have been multiple people that have come out online, like being like, "Hey, so every picture that we see of her in a car, she's always in like big SUVs, and she's never actually ever fully in the car. Whenever we see these pictures, and this, that, and the third, and it's like." I personally do not believe the Lyft driver should have been fired for that. I will say that. I don't believe that he should have been fired for it because at the end of the day, had something messed up with his car, Lyft was not going to reimburse him. Had he not been able to get to the destination, her money would have been refunded. He would have been SOL.
Right.
So I understand why he was wanting to protect the one asset that allows him to do the job.
Right. His livelihood.
Right.
Possibly.
I'm going to be honest. If I was in that situation, I would even be like, look, I'll order it for you.
Right.
Like, just because honestly, I would feel bad. I'd be like, look, I'm sorry, I can't, but I'll order one for you. I'll even order one for you and, like, have it so that way it'll come and get you. I'll get the extra large so that way, you'll be comfortable. Because, I saw the video. She would have, I can see it. She probably would have been cramped.
Yeah.
She probably would have been cramped in the backseat of that car. And it's just, it is a shitty situation all the way around. A man lost his job. And I've seen a lot of people online saying I would countersue for wrongful termination and emotional distress.
Right. Because I don't know exactly, but I want to say drivers do have the right to refuse service.
They do. They do. In both Uber and Lyft, they can refuse service.
Exactly. And he exerted that right to refuse service.
Absolutely. And I just,
He can control who gets in his car.
he can.
Not want her in.
And not to say, not to say that he was right in doing it, but at the same time, there is a way to handle every situation, and I really do feel like he handled the situation to the best of his ability. He wasn't screaming, he wasn't cussing, he wasn't like, "Get your big behind away from my car." No, he was just like, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to." He was very calm. Every time I've seen the video, at least, maybe there's another angle that I didn't see, but every time I've seen it, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, I can't."
Right.
And again, I say, I'd counter sue. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna say. How can I say this in a nice, a more kind of even way?
Be nice. I'm finding it. I'm finding it.
Finding it. I really am trying to find it.
It take you that long to find it? It does.
It does. I'm not gonna say we shouldn't discriminate on weight because in some instances weight is a determining factor. Like for safety, like on roller coasters, there is a weight limit because at that point you cannot buckle your seatbelt. Um, there may be something else going on, and you are affecting the roller coaster. It's not. It's less of, oh, we don't want your big ass on my roller coaster. It's your weight is going to affect something. You cannot safely ride the roller coaster.
And that,
In case like that, like, hey, you might not want to get on this, but it is not safe. We do not have anything to accommodate you. Now, some roller coasters do have like bigger seats to
right.
accommodate, but if they don't have that and they tell you no, they're looking out for your safety. They're looking out for your safety and the safety of their
Other guest. And the other guest.
Right. Because what if you throw off the weight balance?
And then it's just a big old mess.
Right. Then you got multiple lawsuits on your hands.
It's just a mess. Exactly. It's multiple lawsuits.
Like people should know, especially like, not to sound mean, people who are on the bigger side, you have to know your limits. There are some things plus size people just cannot do as smaller people can do, such as riding roller coasters and stuff. And he probably was like, "Hey, you." He might have told her before she started recording, like, "Hey, you might be cramped in this back seat." He wanted to make the ride comfortable.
Right.
You know, that's how I looked at it.
Oh
Like
yeah, 100%,
there
100%.
might have already been something wrong with his car, and he's like, "Dang, bro, if I get one more thing, it's gonna
It's
mess
gonna
up my
put me out
whole
of right. It's gonna put me out of commission until I can get it
commission."
fixed. So
So
it's understandable. Look, at that point, it'd be like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to Uber.
right,
Because if Lyft fired me, which I feel like it would end up causing a little bit of an issue once it got back to Uber, that you were the same guy. But at the same time, I still feel like they would be like, it's cool, dude. We're just gonna, you got it, and we're gonna hook you up with a nicer car.
Uber, right?
You know, Uber,
Uber got
is,
money.
they do, and do. Which I'm surprised. I'm surprised any taxi services are still available with the way Uber and Lyft been controlling the streets for the past decade.
I feel like taxis are more. They're still in business for the places that Uber and Lyft won't go.
You know what? That's fair.
Like them big major cities, taxis is running the game
Oh
probably.
yeah, New York. I feel like
More
taxis are still they top number one. I can see everywhere else. Ooh, especially in Texas. Boy, I know in Texas, boy they be Ubering and lifting everywhere.
mm,
Oh.
probably in California too. They don't want to drive nowhere.
You're right. You're right. Ah, that was horrible. It was a horrible situation. It's a horrible situation all the way around. Honestly, it is. I hope my hope is that it can end amicably for everyone, and hopefully, old buddy that was driving for Lyft can find something better and more suitable for him to where he doesn't have to be put in these situations ever again. But with that being said, that was the shit, and this is the shot. So I'm gonna take this shot because that was some shit. Up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we're used to it. Now drink, motherfucker, drink.
Mm,
That one went down kind of smooth that time.
nice.
Kind of.
Came back to bite. Soon said,
Anyway, with that being said, we're going to move on to our last section of today's episode. Let me get it, which is entitled, Am I the Asshole? As read by Kristal. Oh. And as she continued goes to look it up, I am I
"I
am
had it and it left."
I am making to move that today's uh, adjective be changed now to the unprepared.
I am prepared. I have it. I tried to read my face ID didn't want to work for 2 seconds.
That's tragic.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Am I the asshole for laughing when my friend told me the baby name she picked?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a, I'm gonna have to see what the significance of the name is first, because like if it's a name that holds significance, then yeah, you might be an asshole. But if it's just like if you just named them something crazy like Del Destapia or something like that, then no, you're not the asshole. So, cause you know people be naming their kids some crazy shit.
Oh yeah.
But I'm kind of torn. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. I'm really. This is one of those rare times I'm gonna have to hear the story before I can give judgment based off the story.
All right, here we go. My best friend, I will call her Kay, is pregnant, and we've been friends forever, like since middle school. We've been talking about baby names for weeks, just throwing out ideas for fun. She even joked about some really insane names, and we laughed about how most people pick the most cringe stuff. So I thought we were on the same page about what was reasonable. Fast forward to a few days ago, Kay tells me they finally picked a name, and it's something straight out of Genshin Impact or Skyrim. not the real name, but think the Fire Rocket or Banjo Fox. I honestly thought she was messing with me, so I laughed. Not like a mean laugh, but a genuine reaction like, wait, shut up, what is the real name? But nope, that was the real name. She got super quiet and was like, that is the name. I could tell immediately I messed up, so I tried to backpedal, but she looked kind of hurt and changed the subject. Later, a mutual friend told me she was upset and thought I was being rude. Now, the real tea is that she had a small kickback with our friend group and didn't invite me. Like literally everyone was there. I found out after the fact, and it's hard not to feel like it's because of the baby name thing. I really didn't mean to be rude. I just genuinely thought she was joking based on our past combos. Am I the asshole for laughing, or is she overreacting? This is my best friend.
So did she put the actual name? Because I heard it was
No,
like Genshin Impact or something like that.
no, it's from Genshin Impact, but she did not put the actual name.
I think she's saying
It's somewhere along the lines.
Oh.
Like you would find it in Genshin. I guess it's one of the names in Genshin
well,
Impact or
So like,
Skyrim.
so like you would,
no, but
Yeah, some mystical video
so
game
you'd
like
get a name. Okay. Nah, not the asshole. I'm sorry. Like, especially if you say like, no, this was a genuine. I just it was uncontrollable. Like I just laughed without thinking about it. Then yeah, I don't think she's the asshole. Um, I definitely think she could have apologized instead of trying to backpedal. I think she could have just apologized and been like, "Yo, I'm so sorry. You caught me off guard with that name." I think, and then because genuinely, if it were me, I'd be like, I'm gonna be so honest with you. You caught me off guard with that. I was not expecting it. I'm so sorry.
that.
I still vote not the asshole, personally. Is there an update? What do the comments say? What do we have an update?
I don't think there's an update.
Boo!
No, there's no update as of right now.
Boo!
Yeah, there's no update as of right now. But as far
Boo!
as comments, the
What are the
top
comments? Ooh.
comment, top comment
Okay.
says everyone's the asshole.
Everyone
You're
sucks here?
not the asshole for laughing initially, but you are for apologizing. She's the asshole for complete lack of consideration that her kid is going to have to deal with a dumbass name for life. The poor kid is destined for a life in your friend's basement. She's also the asshole for not being an adult and telling you that her feelings were hurt.
You know what? I can agree with all of that. Like, and that's, you know what, that's where I fall in this too. She's not the asshole for laughing. She's more so the asshole because she didn't like immediately apologize. And the friend is the asshole for one naming their kid something like that. Because I swear on my soul, had I met a child named Watermelandria, I would have bullied him. I'm not gonna lie, probably would have. Because what do you mean your name is Watermelandria? Like, you named him something. Like, don't get me wrong. If I met somebody whose name was legitimately from like a video game or something, I'd be like, oh, from that video game, and they'd be like, yeah, that's actually where my parents got my name from. It's just like,
Now,
well,
if
shit.
you find like if it was a simple name,
You know what?
like if
Agreed.
in a video game, but if you pull something straight out your ass, like you would have named your child fucking Katana or some shit. Now we on your ass.
Yeah. I feel
You know, name
like
your child Sonya Cage.
I feel like your name cannot be more than 3 syllables. Like your first name cannot be more than 3 syllables. There's like maybe one or two exceptions to that rule. All the rest, like if your name is more than three, then you got a problem. Both guys and girls.
This comment just made me laugh. I don't know if this person's serious or not. They said my weird name has been a burden all my life. Kindest regards, Quartz Thunderbolt.
What Thunderbolt?
Quartz. Like rose
Quartz.
quartz, quartz,
Quartz.
quartz thunderbolt, quartz thunderbolt. I said, bro, I hope that's not your name, bro, because that's terrible.
Dog. Dog. You know what? You've made me want to go down a rabbit hole. Hold on.
Listen, there's a whole subreddit called Tragedy just for terrible names.
That's crazy. Let's see.
But then someone said Genshin has a lot of normal names in it. Yeah, Jean, Amber, Mona, Layla, Barbara, Lisa, Sarah, Charlotte. Any of those could have been normal. So I'm guessing it wasn't anything normal. It had to have been some out of pocket, hideous name.
Let's see. There's
I know
both.
it's a running joke on TikTok now that we're becoming the parents, the new generation of parents. All the kids gonna have like random anime names and shit.
Which, that's perfectly fine. It's just, I swear if I ever meet somebody whose name is Indica, I might just, like,
Listen, I guarantee you there is somebody's name Indica.
might have to fight their parents. Because what you mean you naming your child after a weed strain?
Listen, they'll never know.
But they probably would. Just Lord have mercy. Just bad names all the way around. Just bad name after bad name after bad name.
I mean, everybody's like, you're the asshole. Everybody said that they're the asshole for not sharing the name.
Ha! That's actually kind of funny.
Because why wouldn't you tell us the name? I want to know the name.
That is
But
very
then
true.
some people are also saying that the friend, she's pregnant, she's hormonal, so it's the hormones getting to her.
I mean, yeah, I give her grace, but at the same time, it's like, dog.
Stop it. Like, stop it, right? But then again, that leads into the topic of like celebrity baby names. Celebrities, I don't know where they pull these names out their ass from, but they're hands down the craziest names you ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, someone has a child named Rocket. Rumor. Yeah, there is somebody. There's a celebrity named Rumor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Elon Musk kids.
Oh god.
There's someone has a daughter named Dusty Rose.
Dusty Rose?
Dusty Rose.
Lord, that is.
Someone has a child named Apple.
Mm, that's just tragic.
It is. And there's Erica.
No, Erica.
Erica. I'm glad you knew where I was going.
Erica.
Erica.
AIRWRECKA. Erica.
Erica.
Just terrible.
Then there's JKMNO. Pronounced Noel.
JK. Hold on. JKNOL.
MNO.
MNO.
Like the alphabet, like JKLMNO. No, take the L out. JKMNO. And the name is Noel.
I hate it. I hate it with everything in me. I hate it with everything in me.
Unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah, that name is that name is very complicated because there's no reason for that. It's not like you ever stroke trying to say that name if you didn't know. It's the funniest shit I've ever heard. Like, pour one out for the homie Noel.
Stop it. Lord have mercy. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up today's episode. We're going to wrap up today's episode. But before we do, we're going to, like always, we gotta empty it out. 1 second, y'all. Oh, editing this is going to be so much fun. Ugh. You good over there?
I looked at the name, the tragedy name subreddit, and I saw one that said they knew twins called Broccoli and Question.
That called what? That's called what?
Twins called Broccoli and Question.
Nah. 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 That's a
Oh
mess.
my god.
That is a mess. That is a mess. I cannot. I cannot.
I
We're
would
gonna.
scream if I missed my name Broccoli. I would screech.
We're ending it. We're ending it there. We're done. We're ending it there. If you guys have if you guys have enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like, comment, share, subscribe, interact, everything. Do all the interactions. We really would appreciate it. Follow us on all the social medias, which are Twitter, our Bluesky, our Facebook. We don't have a Facebook. Yes, we do. We have a Facebook. Our Instagram. We are also on Reddit and Discord. All of those will be linked down below. Follow me everywhere at @youngjb. All those links will also be down below. Miss Kristal DeShan, can you please tell the people where they can find you?
You can find me everywhere at Kristal Deshan. KRISTALDESHANE.
Absolutely. I just thought about it. I feel so bad that the audio listeners would never get to see me doing the little. They never get to see it because they never get to see the little handy dance that I do. Come over to YouTube. You
can watch it.
But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all next week. Episode 40. We're hitting 40. 40 episodes, baby! Yeah. We're going to go 40 episodes. We're going to see you all in the next one. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl next week. Like I said, I don't really care for either team, but I really hope that the Kansas City Chiefs lose. But with that being said, I want you all to know that you are loved. You are appreciated. And we are... Give me a second. We are... I got to think about this one. I feel bad. I don't know. We are so happy that you joined us right here on this call. We will see you in the next one. Love you. Mean it. Bye-bye.
If you or a loved one is struggling with alcohol abuse, dial the National Drug and Alcohol Treatment Hotline at 1-800-662-4357. The National Drug and Alcohol Treatment Hotline provides information on alcohol and drug abuse, local treatment options, and support through hotline counselors who are there to help and speak with you about alcohol, drug, or family problems.